I'm Angie, for those of you that don't know me, and I am an above knee amputee. I have been for just over 2 years, 2.5 years now, and I love to be active. I have a podcast called Be-YOU-tiful Adaptive Warrior, in which I try to help other amputees and other people just deal with the ups and downs of life and empowering you to live your best life. And I normally put out a podcast on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I put a podcast out. And a little backstory, I've done the podcast now, there's 20 episodes. And a month ago, our family, passively looking for a home to go kind of ranch versus 2 levels with my, moving up and down and walking up and down stairs, we actually found the home that we wanted. And in short, life got turned upside down. Never thought we were moving this summer, hadn't planned it, wasn't like prepping for it. And then it became everyone, all hands on deck, purging the house, getting it ready to show, getting the paperwork and everything done, doing inspections, the whole gamut. And we, in the middle of that, did our first trip since the pandemic started back home to Chicago, and we're out in Arizona. And we actually got the bid on the house that we wanted while my dad was actually in visiting for the very first time since the pandemic. And then we went back to Chicago with him to spend some time at home with family. Needless to say, all in all, by the time we got back from that trip, we put our house up for an open house. It sold that weekend, and basically here we are. I'm living in more northern part of Arizona, north of Phoenix, in a small town called Carefree. And all the while, I say this because all the while I've been trying to keep my podcast on track. And I did tell everybody, hey, listen, you know what? This is getting tough. And so I will put something out, and what it came down to is one of my first podcasts I did in this house. We hadn't even moved in. We just had closed, and I brought in my phone and did a broadcast like this, and then uploaded the audio to my podcast, and that was it. Very echoey, no furniture, nothing in the house. After we got everything moved here from our other house, then the real work began, and I knew it was going to be hard on my body. The problem is I just thought I'd be sore, but what ended up happening is I had really bad hip pains, and there was times my body just quit working on me and said, no more, I can't do anymore. And so that was really, really hard. It's been 4 weeks now, just over 4 weeks since we went through all of this, and so I bought the house and moved in. And last 2 weeks, I'm in my own little room. I can do my podcast. I have my privacy. For those of you that don't know me, I have 2 teenage boys. One's in college, one's going to be a senior in high school. And so my podcasting area was where they play like Xbox or watch TV. And so I'd always have to kick them out and have quiet time. And now here I have my own room. So it's really exciting. Well, needless to say, last week, I did a podcast on the journey and how life is just about a journey, and it's all about ups and downs, and that everybody has them. And just because you see someone doing well doesn't mean that they haven't been kicked down and beaten up by life just prior to you seeing them, or they're putting on a great face. And one of my podcast rules for me that I always try to remember is to be totally transparent, because there's enough fake out there. There's enough people just posting the best moments. I'm very competitive, so as an amputee, as soon as that happened for me, I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I saw tons of videos on what some amputees could do, but it was like they were already great at it. And there was no journey. It was like the end result. Even though they may proclaim it was their journey and everything, everybody starts low somewhere, like learning how to do stuff for the first time as a one-leg person. So I always said that I would be very transparent. I have gone like live jump roping for the very first time, and that was ugly. Today I thought I would go, I decided, you know what, today I'm not even gonna do a podcast, because what ended up happening is last week I did this great one on the life's up and down and couldn't figure out why it wasn't recording how many hits and people seeing it. And then come to find out that after writing it up on my website, which is www.beawarrior360.com, there was no podcast. It was just my write-up and some pictures. And I thought, oh my gosh, I never even posted last Wednesday's, even though it was done last Wednesday. And it was Tuesday. It was last night when I actually hit post. So I kind of did one this week. But what I wanted to let you know, what I've been going through, and I shared with some of you, and this is the video. I was going to go live, and then I decided no, because I really want to share this on my YouTube channel as well. And I can't figure out the whole live thing and saving the video so I can use it elsewhere. So I'm going semi-live. So this is my socket that I've been in forever, it seems like. I mean, this is probably the longest I've ever had a socket. It's probably been since the end of last year. I design it. I make all the decals with my machine here at home. I put things that will remind me on whose I am, and that I will get through highs and lows. My spirit animal is the whale, because the whale, a tribal whale, they say believes like the Alaskans believe that it is a sign of freedom and mobility, and I thought that was pretty apropos, because now that I've lost my leg, I actually have more mobility. Anyway, when you go through not fitting in a socket anymore, the soft layer here, your prosthetist does whatever he can to elongate the life of it, because insurance only does so many. Well, last week I went in and he finally said, all right, let's cast you. So what they do is they cast the leg, they pull it off, and they fill it with cement. And then that's what helps make this, because then they put the plastic over that cement and, you know, shrink it over it and everything with a vacuum. Well, now I'm in what's called a test socket, which is see-through. You can see that it's see-through. They put this fiberglass casting material on it to make sure it doesn't fall apart on me, because that would be bad. And I have seen that happen. And I'm just kind of giving it a test run. The problem with this is, you can see, this is a hard shell. This is what it'll be like when I actually decide that, yeah, this feels right. Or basically what he has me do is just wear it and see how it feels, where it rubs, where it's not fitting right, where it could be tightened, where it could be loosened, whatever. And I usually have it for a couple days. Well, I have it till next Tuesday, and I just got it yesterday. Monday. Anyways, then it'll be made into the soft socket, and then this pretty outside one will be made. The problem with a hard socket here is it's really, really tacky. And I wasn't even sure I was going to get on, because it's taken me everything to smile right now. It was an exhausting morning. There's not a lot that makes me break down in tears. Not with amputation. Like, it was a choice I made over 2 years ago, and I've never looked back, and I've never regretted it, not a moment. Today was physically and emotionally exhausting. When you get this put on, you're always looking for the right gait as well, and my leg here gets screwed into the socket, and then it's tweaked and twisted so that my gait is right. And when I was leaving, it really wasn't. It was kind of swinging hard, and it was making me off balance. So my prosthetist fixed it, and I went on my way. Well, this morning, I put it on, and I walked from my bathroom into my bedroom and went, whoa, this is not right. It is way too much room for movement. And it's not like a snap-in for me. I could twist it wrong, left or right by any degree, and it'll be off. So it's like a science. And you really have to have the right touch to get it on. And you open up this hole here, this is my valve, and I put on a bag on my leg, push the bag and my leg in and pull it through the hole, and I pull my leg in by pulling down this bag. Well, the problem is this is really tacky, and me trying to get it off today, I couldn't get it off. Needless to say, it took me probably 15 minutes of literally hardcore trying to pull it off. Um, I've never sweat so much doing a non-activity workout. Um, Tears, because after about 10 minutes and it not even budging, I almost got claustrophobic. Like it was never going to come off. There was no way to even get my hand down inside there to find a pocket of air. Nothing. Perseverance, taking a couple breaks, I finally was able to get it off. But I need my leg. So bag went back on, put it down inside my leg, and did it all over again. At this time, trying to be careful on where I put it down. And you wouldn't believe it. It was on wrong again. I must have spent 20, 25 minutes, literally sweat through my hair, sweat through my shirt, had tears just dripping down my face. My arms were hurting, my hands were hurting because I'm trying to push against this hard plastic, and my hip, which was hurting already from all the box unpacking and up and down, was every bit of weight was on it while I was trying to pull this off. And it was the most heart-wrenching morning I have ever had as an amputee, honest to God truth. And then I was like, you know, the definition of his insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I needed my leg. So I gave myself just a couple minutes to dry up the tears, dry up the sweat, put the bag back on, and then put my leg back in. It was not perfect, but I said, you're gonna have to just deal with it because you have appointments to get to, you have to do this today, you gotta function. Unfortunately, in all that, trying to pull off a leg and pull against your skin, and I was getting so angry, I was literally kicking my prosthetic heel against the ground hard, trying to pop it, that I totally pissed off my nerve endings that do shooting pains through my shin and my calf. It was so bad that after putting it back on for the third time, they were pissed off. And every step I took, I was in like serious pain. So all that to say is I have amazing days most of my time, like 90% of the time. They're easy days, I would say easy days, doable days, active days, loving life days. But that doesn't mean there aren't the realities. You wouldn't even think that getting it off would be a problem. I used to think that how do you even keep it on? How does it stay on? I wish that was the problem, even though that's a bad problem to have, that you can't keep it on because of like sweat and stuff. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. It is literally zapped my energy for the rest of the day. Like I've really struggled to find my grip today. And that was the other aspect I wanted to talk about is, you know, there could be stress eating. I'm not really happy because I haven't been active because I'm waiting to get my socket to work and to be fixed. So I haven't been as active. Plus it's, you know, 100 some degrees here. So all the hiking I usually do, I'm not doing. Plus all the moving has really actually burned me out. So my physical aspect of my life, I'm already tired, even though I'm not really doing the workouts like I would normally do, my push-ups, my sit-ups, things like that. So I'm kind of feeling blah. So I literally could have gone to stress eating, and I almost did, and I went for yogurt, so I was proud of myself there. And then it truly became the woe is me, you know, maybe go home, you can sit down and comfort food, right? I just couldn't, and I even had to pull myself together to do this. I was thinking about doing this earlier today, then things happened and appointments happened, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna videotape this, I'm not gonna talk to people about it. And then I realized that there was gonna be someone out there that is struggling and can understand it, or is happy that they're not the only ones going through things, that there is no such thing as normal. And there isn't an amputee that I've heard of, when I really get to know people that are amputees, that don't struggle. They might struggle with their own self-image. That's a tough one. They might struggle with the emotions tied behind having lost a limb that they've always known. They might struggle with pains that you can never see and never understand because they're within the socket. And you don't know. And then it also goes back to just a life lesson. As I'm getting older, I'm realizing that that person that was really grumpy at the store, or the person that was angry and honking at the red light, um, they're going through something. We all do. And that was kind of last week's podcast. So if you didn't get to hear it because it just went out yesterday, I suggest you listen, because it's literally about embracing life, and embracing the suck at times, like my day today. And tomorrow has got to be a better day, because it does not get worse than how I felt today. It just can't. The struggle was very real today, and it was um, emotionally exhausting, and physically it hurt. So, you're not alone. I hope you know that. I hope that you have a support system that can understand. I had to tell my husband about it today, and he was like, oh, I didn't even know. He was in his home office, and I was literally on the other side of the wall in tears. There was nothing he could have done, so it didn't matter. There's really nothing physically that anybody could have done to help me. I had to fight that one by myself to get it off. Even when this happens, and it does happen in the prosthetist office, when I put this on 2 days ago and it happened. He's literally like, you know what, I'm just going to walk away and let you deal with it, because there's nothing he can do. He did put some baby powder in there where he could, but unless you can loosen the suction down at the bottom, it ain't going to happen. So he did have some help there, but the reality is, look for your support system. Understand you're not alone. And I'm sorry if you ever going through something like that where you feel defeated, but just know you're not. That there are people that care. There are people that understand. And when they can't understand, explain it. Try to communicate. Communication to my family is really key now, because I will hold things in so I don't burden anybody. That's what I used to do. And all it would come out as is me being really ornery and mean at times, because I was at wit's end and they didn't know. So instead of zapping them with that, I let them know, hey, this may not be a good day. You might want to just give me some space, because I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be rude to you, but it just might come out. And, if you're battling something, just know that finding a positive outlet. I actually went shopping today. Ironically, I didn't buy anything, but looking at stuff for the house and everything, I went shopping and found a ton of things I loved, but just couldn't decide. And I think that's just a product of my emotion today. I was just kind of blah, but loved about 6 million things that I saw for the house, but thought better just to wait and not stress shop. There's stress eating and there's stress shopping. I really need a stress exercise, but I haven't figured that one out yet. But I will. My goal is, and I'm going to make myself accountable by telling you, my goal is tonight to get back into my workout routine. It's now set up, instead of my bedroom where I used to do nighttime workouts, it's now in my office area. But I'm going to do that tonight, because I know in the long run I will feel much better, and I will go to bed feeling complete and know that tomorrow is a brand new day. And if God is willing and gives me breath in my lungs, then tomorrow I'll make a better day. So that was my journey today. It was a tough one. And literally, I've been to the grocery store. I've been able to handle my leg, but I'm walking funny. My gait is not right. The way my leg is lined up is not right. And it's very weird, and it catches you off balance and everything. And sometimes I even clip my other foot, because my heel comes around more than it should. So don't give up. Don't give in. I hope that you have an amazing week. I hope you see the positive in each day, and try to live the best life you can. And hopefully you'll have some empathy for the people that you see around you that maybe don't look like they're fighting a battle, but you just never know. So until I talk to you all next time, be healthy, be happy.